It takes him all 9 months until Elizabeth gives birth, and he finally believes. I don't know how long it takes him, but he finally gets there. So God's not limited by your lack of faith. That's kind of a little message here. God's not limited by your lack of belief in what God can do. But think about it. If Zechariah had believed sooner, think of the suffering and the frustration and the agony he could have saved himself. Right? If he, instead of waiting around, like, he would just said, okay, well, I believe you, I'm on board, let's go. I trust you. Think about what a difference it would have made. A lesson from Mary. Just a couple of things to lift up about Mary that I think are really important. Mary shows us that when it comes to having a great, powerful faith, experience is not required. Experience is not required. Sometimes we may come into a faith, to come into the church and think, well, I don't know enough about the Bible. I don't have a lot of experience. I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm not really that good of a person. I've got all kinds of reasons why I shouldn't even be here. But what Mary shows us, none of that matters. None of that matters. God chooses Mary freely. God favors Mary. God gives her a purpose in her life. God does a miracle in Mary's life, and Mary didn't do a thing to deserve it. She wasn't even probably expecting it. So the same is true for us. God can just show up in our lives, and we don't need to have a bunch of experience. Experience is good, but as we see, experience can also work against us. But Mary didn't have any experience. Make sure that you ask the right question. Don't ask the Zechariah question, how can God do that? Right, we don't want to ask that question. We want to ask the question Mary asked, how will that be? Right, it's a difference. Say it with me. How will that be? Like, that's the question to take with you into each and every day. God, I believe you. I believe you're all powerful. I believe you are for me. I believe that you are with me. How will you heal me? How will you save my family? How will you dig me out of this financial hole? How will you use me? How will you restore my friendship? How will you make me a part of a community? How will you make me sober? How will you get me through this? That's the question to ask, right? How will you do this, God? Now, can you do this, God? You know, how will you do this? The last thing Mary, I think, teaches us is the importance of responding to God today. Today, that we accept Jesus Christ, as the Messiah, as the one through whom all God's promises are answered. Yes, that we accept him today. I'm thinking a lot of us, we're like, we think, not today, later. I'll get to that later. I'll make Jesus Lord and Savior of my life. I'll believe him as Messiah in Christ when I get older. When I finish school. When I get into my next job. After I've made my first million. After I've sold all my wild oats. You know, I'll get around to that later. And what Mary shows us, don't wait until later. Do it now. Today. Today believe that Jesus is the Christ. Today believe that he's saved you and forgiven you. And today he wants to fill you with the Spirit. Can I get an amen, somebody? Amen. Today, what are we waiting for? You know you might not be here tomorrow. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but that's right. We put off the important things for tomorrow. We don't know what tomorrow holds. What we know is we've got this moment, and we can hear Jesus calling our name, and we know there's something special happening in this place. So why in the world would I wait until tomorrow? Let's receive him. Let's believe today. Amen? All right, we're going to move right into Holy Communion. And I want to tell you a little story as we get started on this. At the end of Luke, we'll get to this in a few weeks, there's a story of two disciples of Jesus 3 days after his crucifixion. They're walking on the road to a town called Emmaus. Some of you have heard the story. They're just so disheartened. They're so down and discouraged because Jesus has been killed. It's been 3 days. Nothing's happened. They haven't seen anything, heard anything. And they're just so in the dumps, right? And lo and behold, a stranger shows up and is walking alongside of them, just talking with them, right there with them. And it's Jesus, but they don't know it's Jesus. They can't see him, right? I don't know if it's their doubts that have gotten the best of them, blinded them. They can't see him, and they're stuck. He's right here, but they're still trapped in their discouragement. And then they sit down at a table with Jesus, kind of like, imagine like this table. And when Jesus takes the bread, you remember that? And he blesses the bread, and he breaks the bread, and right in that moment, their eyes are open, they see Jesus Christ, their faith is restored. In that moment. My prayer is as we celebrate communion today, Pastor Wallace is going to lead us here in just one moment. My prayer today is we receive Holy Communion, that our eyes are open, and that we come to believe in Jesus.